Okay, so first up we got Tyten. We have 2 sets from him. The first one we're going to be looking at is him fighting a Lucas, and unfortunately I think this was just some random Wi-Fi friendly, so there's only 2 games, but like not a definitive outcome for a set. It's basically 1-1 between these 2 games, and the next one's going to be against Diddy Kong. So I briefly took a look at these. As you can see, these are recorded videos. These are not just uploaded to YouTube and all that stuff. So I briefly was looking at them when I was going over this, and there's some good things that Tom does, but there's a lot of things that he's got to work on as well. I don't know if he's in here exactly. Tag him just in case, because he tends to miss the announcements for these. But yeah, so the first one we're going to be looking at is the Lucas one. And with that said, let's talk about this matchup a little bit. So Lucas himself is a very, very straightforward matchup. I do think he's a little bit harder than Ness is, but overall, Lucas is pretty easy to deal with in general. The main benefits that he has is he has pretty nice disjointed hitbox on him. So, the thing is that he's able to do a lot of really good trades, and with those things, that means in the more boxing, close quarters, air-to-air space, he's pretty good at just kind of stuffing you out, so that's not necessarily what you focus on. You kind of abuse the fact that he's floaty and that he's not terribly fast, so he can move a pretty good distance, but it's not quick, and that's kind of the main issue that he runs into. One thing that makes him significantly better, well, not significantly better, but like better than Ness in this matchup is 2 key factors. PK Fire goes straight, so this means if he's jumping in the air at any angle, then PK Fire is just going to go straight, and whereas Ness doesn't really have utility to use PK Fire against Can. Like, sure, he can, but it's like he has to get like, kind of right on top of it for the angle down to go hit it and to hit the gunman itself. And honestly, like if he PK Fires the gunman and you summon the gunman right there, PK Fire is not going to hit you. Whereas if it's Lucas and he PK Fires the gunman or the Can and you're right behind it, PK Fire will actually hit you. So he's able to get better punishes off of that. So you have to be a little bit more careful about how you're placing down your projectiles against him. The other thing too is recovery. So with recovery, you against Ness, you can actually snipe away the PK Thunder by having Can go to it. And the other thing too is Ness's recovery doesn't go nearly as far. So dropping down Gunman or Can and just having Ness hit the Can itself, it's pretty easy to gimp him by just reducing his distance drastically by that. Whereas the same thing does happen to Lucas in terms of reducing the distance when he runs into something. His recovery distance is still extremely good even if he hits something, so more often than not, he's probably going to be able to live from those situations in general, and just the fact that you can't snipe away the PK Thunder because it doesn't go away after it hits something means that he is harder to gimp as well, so you're just going to be playing neutral a lot more against Lucas than you are with Ness. But yeah, the biggest thing with Lucas too is that because he's slow, you're able to kind of like trap him in the air with your projectiles. And if he's dealing with projectiles, normally that's going to leave him pretty wide open to an attack from Duck Hunt. And you can pretty much overwhelm him with projectiles as well. And it's like his reflector also doesn't, well, his magnet doesn't really work as a reflector at all. So like Can's just kind of able to go above the actual hitbox itself and then hit him. So it's not even really like a solid punish against those. However, of course, he can absorb the Can explosion. And the other thing too is like I think he can just kill Clay Pigeon right through it and it'll hit him, and the magnet won't do enough damage to break the Clay Pigeon. So he kind of does struggle with all those things, and those are the main things that you're going to be taking advantage of. And the other thing too is you can SDI out of a lot of his combos from Nair specifically, so you can actually shorten how effective those are pretty significantly as well. Another thing that you need to remember is that he does have all of his throws basically will lead to a kill except down throw, since that no longer combos. But like up throw, back throw, and forward throw are all pretty decently strong kill throws by themselves. But however, it's a tether, so it's a little bit easier to react to. Obviously on Wi-Fi, you're not really reacting to it. But, you know, he also does have the tether recovery as well. So that's not too hard to intercept, but generally you want to use Can to intercept those. Just because like if he does decide to mix it up with PK Thunder at like the last minute, you might be offstage in a pretty tricky situation. Lastly, The other thing too is that because he's so floaty, I do believe he's fairly light, but before I give a definitive answer on that, let me just double check the weight so I'm not just, you know, talking without knowing what I'm talking about. Because like he is one of those few characters where you are able to kill him. You can actually kill him with up throw, and you can kill him with can pretty easily. But I'm not sure if that's just because his gravity is so bad. Let's see. Here's weight. Yeah, Lucas 94. So, you know, heavier than characters like Wolf and wow, Lucario's a lot lighter than I remember. But he's basically a midweight, but because he's so floaty, he actually dies off the top fairly early. So generally speaking, like your can should be able to kill him around 140, 150. And up throw is basically a guaranteed kill at like 180, I would say. And if you have rage, it might be slightly lower than that. So good thing to remember. He's just one of the few characters that'll work on. So if you need a last-ditch effort with that, that's something important to remember. Briefly, let's also look at his hitboxes as well. So let me just double check that magnet hitbox, just so I can see exactly what he's dealing with when he has that. Okay, yeah, so the magnet hitbox is not good at all. So as you see, when he first starts it, there's absolutely no hitbox at all. It's when he let goes, and that's it. So you're very easily able to get like the can and everything above it, and that means can just go right through the magnet, and you can send a clay pigeon right through the magnet as well. So your projectiles completely ignore anything that could possibly do. He does have one reflector in the forms of F smash, which you're actually going to see this Lucas player do it quite a bit, just because Tom is pretty obvious with when he does it, and as you can see, the reflector does come out before he swings. As you see, he's still holding the bat upright, and then he swings. And it's a little bit present even after he swings. So reflector comes out frame 11, so he can't exactly react and do it. He just kind of has to see it coming and then do it. It's not like a frame 5 or 6 or a frame 1 reflector. So generally not going to be using this 2 option unless like your projectile is like pretty obvious. But the other thing too is because it just reflects right in front of him, you can still get the can behind him. But if you do it on top of his head, if you look at this reflector hitbox, at first you can get it behind him, but then he kind of steps into it. And then at this part, after he swung the bat, then you're not going to be able to hit him anymore. So you kind of want to aim for the back part. And then it's like if you hit him, if you get this part, great. If you don't, you actually still might be able to get his foot. It's just that you have to kind of aim for kind of where his ankle is. And then the other thing that's worth mentioning about Lucas is that his normals are ridiculously safe. Like jab 1 is just -13, same with jab 2. I don't think I've ever seen jab 1 and 2 actually have the same shield safety as the other. Zero's not too bad, just because like it's kind of hard for him to get on short characters. No, the thing about CP is this. This is probably what you're messing up. Let me show this off real quick. So the thing is that if you are spamming the B button as you are throwing it to Lucas, then yes, you're correct. But as long as you're not doing that, he can't actually absorb it. So this is the issue that you're doing. You're doing this. Like, you're just spamming the B button, but as long as you're hitting him, then you're fine. When it's on the ground. Oops. Yeah, but why are you doing that? Also, yeah, like, there's no reason that really should be happening. Like, if you're using CP, you're normally just like thinking about it actually just hitting him, not like that. If you're going for a really cool setup though, where that would happen, then that sure. But I think there's also like some minus frame advantage he might have off of this. I'm not sure if he can. Oh, actually, yeah, because that was like right on top of him. The hitbox actually took him out of it too. So it needs to be in a very specific spacing for that to work. Yeah, like honestly, that really shouldn't be an issue. And the other thing that you can do is this, just not detonate it, and then if he does it, you can just run up and grab him too. Because, to just show you real quick. So we're going to hold it. This is how long it takes before you can hold shield. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There. So frame 11 is the first frame that he gets shield out. But frame 10 is the first frame that he can act. So gives you a pretty good punish window if he still thinks that you're going to detonate it. And the other thing too is that you can run up to him. And once he realizes you're running up to him, then you can press B while during the end lag of his magnet and then take advantage of that too. So honestly, like it's not good against Clay Pigeon. Other things real quick too. His normals are really good, really safe on shield as we were just mentioning. Jab's pretty safe. He can get mix-ups off of it, but nothing true. So like if you think he's going to attack, you can spot dodge or roll. Sometimes jump as well, but that's not always a good option. Forward tilt, as you can see, -10, -8. So if you're right next to him, generally speaking, you should be able to grab that. But just in case he spaces it well, I wouldn't do it. And if you have a slow enough grab, he'll be able to spot dodge. So sweet spot's the part that's far away from him. So if you're in there, don't grab, just in general. Only if he's right next to you. Up tilt, really not safe on shield at all, and obviously just hits in front of him after that first little part. So relatively easy to punish. But it's a pretty short move, only 33 frames. And same with up tilt, only 25. Then down tilt, this is always like considered just one of the most toxic moves ever made. It's only -6 on shield, so you basically can't punish it unless you have like a really, really good up B out of shield or a really good nair out of shield, though he might be able to duck under that as well. And then it also comes out frame 3 too, so just 1 frame slower than his jab. So this is basically his jab. He'll generally do down tilt to grab. That's a pretty common thing, but you can spot dodge before the grab comes because the grab is a little bit too slow, and he can roll as well, so something to keep in mind. Dash attack, just shield it, you'll punish it. But it's pretty good. It actually does kill, so not a great burst option, but you're able to do it. Yeah, that's not a bad thing to do, especially if you can bait him out to use magnet. Then down smash, he'll use this at ledge a lot, so try not to attack when you're going to the ledge. Just dodge back to the ledge, and that's it. Neutral air, that's the one that you SDI out of like crazy. Forward air, as you can see, as long as he does this correctly, it's ridiculously safe on shield. But, however, something to keep in mind is most Lucases will do this on the top of your shield. So because of that, it's a lot less safer because of how long it takes him to land. So while this can be done in a way where it's safe, a lot of the times it probably won't be. As you can see, back air is fairly safe too, but sort of the same story as forward air. Most of the time they'll be doing this on the top of your shield, so it takes him a couple of frames before he lands. So generally speaking, you should be able to punish this, but you got to watch his drift too. Up air, they're never going to use this to land unless like he's doing a combo. Down air is not safe, so keep that in mind. You can drop shield, and if you have a jab, use that. And then if he's if he's doing this like right behind your shield, just drop shield and jab. And then Zaire kind of has the issue of sticking up, so unless he's like really good at like hitting it on short characters, it's not that great. But the nice thing about his Zaire compared to a lot of the other ones is the whole thing's a hitbox too, so it actually can make it a little bit difficult to challenge. However, something you need to know is that the base damage is 5. So if it does, If it does end up becoming like stale, you can just clay pigeon right through it. So do keep that in mind. Clay pigeon is an option that you can use frame 1 to just break out of this and punish him for it. So yeah, good things to know. And let's get right into the set. What I do use to punish. It depends on what the situation is. So we'll talk about it here because like there's a couple of things that Tom does that's really good, and I can point out when he does stuff that's really bad.
3, 2, 1, go!
So there's two schools of thought that you can have. You can either have the gunman out or you can have the can out. Most of the time, Lucas is just going to start spamming PK Fire. So gunman is not a bad option to use just because it's going to cover like from here to here, like half of FD. And then, or you can choose to have can so you can start controlling the air a little bit and then you can approach from the ground, especially on this stage because can on this platform controls the air so well. Like it really confines Lucas to what he can do. But just keep in mind he can also PK Fire the can so it can go up there. So this is a pretty good start. So like this is kind of a mistake that like you probably run into a lot is like he got the clay pigeon, but he got nothing off of it just because he was spamming the B button. He wasn't thinking it would actually land. So there, like with that Nair, he had a very easy opportunity to get that fair in. That would have led to a grab, and then he could have done back throw can, and then ideally probably would have led to this platform. He would have gotten 2 up airs off of it. And that right there was pretty good awareness of whether it was intentional or not, was just knowing exactly how that hitbox looks when it explodes. Let me check. Yeah, here we go. Here's what this hitbox looks like. So when you land it, it just kind of goes like in this diagonal angle here. And it kind of doesn't match the actual animation itself if you really look at it. So like the hitbox is here and then like over here. So there's like all this extra smoke that actually has like no hitbox to it. And it sticks out a lot more down here than you would think. So it's probably like back here and like up here. Anything else above that, not going to hit. Yeah, so it's like because he's spamming a lot of clay pigeons, it kind of makes it easier to throw out that F smash. Like there, he's trying to do it again. And that's the other thing too. It's like when you're landing clay pigeons like that, that's a huge risk from yourself. And if you're not taking full advantage of it, there's no reason for you to use clay pigeon at all. And see, like, you could see, like, as long as you understand player habits, you could see that clay pigeon coming from a mile away. So the thing is, he could have actually avoided that by just doing an air dodge on time, but he was just a little bit late to it, is my guess. See, again, like, he's just having a huge issue converting off of that. Like, that clay pigeon, he definitely could have gotten a down air or a back air. And back air here probably would have killed Lucas. Again, huge wasted potential there. Like, instead of getting no punish and potentially leaving himself to get grabbed, he could have just like fast fall fell and did a fair there. And that most likely would have put like Lucas into a very awkward situation around here, which would have been really easy to just like wait for him to just rise, do an aerial, and then just back air him. Yeah, there he slightly messed up. He detonated the clay pigeon too early. So that maneuver there was actually not bad. So this is what happened. So misses the up air because he expects a drift in. And then he actually drifts away, so that way he's out of Lucas's threat zone. Like, realistically, Lucas's threat zone from here is, like, up to here. And he goes all the way from there. And then he decides to throw the clay pigeon. So in this case, like, he still could have just done an F smash to like throw it back at him. And honestly, that would have been a pretty easy thing to see coming. But as long as he tossed it out at that point, it would counter the PK fire. So basically, it just resets neutral. And right now, he has the issue of just mashing forward. Like, he's just holding forward and he's just pressing buttons. So pretty much, Lucas would do anything. For a typical follow-up, honestly, just like a couple of frames later than what he was doing, and he would be able to get them. Because sometimes he's just not dashing. Like there, he was a little bit too late. It's like there, that was really good coverage of jump and then standard get up. Don't know if he could have covered roll. Oh, there's a chance. Yeah, one issue that Tom has a lot, and just like a lot of beginner duck hunts in general have, is that they will run to the area that their can is covering. So for example here. A lot of the time, it's just you weren't dashing immediately. That was kind of your issue. Like, you just hesitated a lot. So something that like a lot of duck hunts have is like you throw can here. So can's already got this covered. But for some odd reason, a lot of just like mid-level duck hunts want to run to their can the second that they're doing this, and I don't know why. Like can's got that covered. Just wait to cover roll and everything else. You do that. You at least cover the roll quite often. Like you got some reads on him, but you like just were barely off. It was so upsetting to see. But like yeah, right there, you just ran right into that, and it caused that thing to glitch. That was a good snipe. Yeah, like there, like you did it a little bit too early. That was good. And then yeah, that can was a little bit too early. But yeah, you do way too many clay pigeons. And like this Lucas just knows enough that he can just throw out F smash and he'll probably reflect it back at you. Like clay pigeon's the one move that like definitively loses to reflectors. Yeah, good shield grab set up there. So, Wolfers, when you're talking about grabs, that's the kind of thing that you want to do when you're going for them. Because if the opponent's spot dodging, that means they're just expecting a grab, and they're not doing it. They're just kind of doing it out of reaction and habit. Like, oh, I'm just going to spot dodge because an attack's going to whiff or a grab's going to whiff, and then they're going to spot dodge cancel it to an attack. So you just got to be ready for it. But yeah, right here, here's a very basic duck hunt thing. You let can blow up on the shield, and you follow up to get the grab. And that's how you set it up. And notice that like he hesitates for a second because just in case Lucas decides to roll in, then he can respond with that with like a grab in place there or just like an F tilt or a smash attack even. So like spacing there was really good. Let's go back like 2 seconds. See, so if Lucas decided to roll here, he'd probably end up somewhere here. So perfect in tilt range. F smash, he might fall out of that because he might get hit by hit 2 on too far out. But he could also do like dash up smash too. So this is just a really good position to be in. Again, he did the wrong smash attack, but as long as he did the F smash setup, he would have countered your clay pigeon. Yeah, you're also kind of not like, at least there you weren't accounting for the PK fire. And that's the other thing too, is like don't try to attack Lucas when he's at the ledge because you're probably going to trade with his down air. I mean his down smash. So I don't ever really advise going for that. Just try to get your auto snap in because like the active frames on down smash are not good. Let me check exactly what they are. Because more often than not, down smash whiffs me. Yeah, so they're active. They're actually active for 3 frames now, so they did buff this. So there's like 3 frames, but like between hit 1 and 2. So you have 6 frames in between. You have 6 frames in between hit 1 and hit 2, and then you have another. Let's see. E32. So yeah, then you have like another 7 frames between these. So like there's a lot of blind spots in the middle of down smash that it's just kind of better for you to just go straight to ledge rather than like risk it with by going for a trade. Yeah, you have to just look at how you're approaching shield. Like if you send me like a replay of yours, I'd be able to tell you more of what's your issue. Also, keep in mind, you just did like hit, roll in twice. He wasn't really keeping track of that. But if he is, then he can just hard punish you for that later on. That's kind of like an auto panic option from you right there. Also, really think about what this gunman does. This gunman does absolutely nothing. So, whenever you're placing out projectiles, make sure they have a purpose. Like, this just kind of wastes your time a lot. And see, like, that's a pretty good setup right there. Like, there's a lot of times that, like, somebody will do something unsafe. They know it's unsafe, so they'll panic spot dodge, and then if you're ready for it, you just punish it like that. So, that's one way to look at it. So that was also a really sad moment. You had a really good idea with doing down air can there to prevent him from chasing you, but then it's just like all you had to do is just like cover like this little part of the ledge right here. And you would have got him, but you decided to just throw it over. So it's like you kind of reduced your own coverage there. Yeah, again, like you were a little bit too early on that, and I think you dashed a little bit late. So something that you need to keep in mind is that when your gunman shoots the can, it actually does not go through the can anymore. So here, look at this. So the gunman shot stops here because it hits the can. The gunman shots no longer go through objects. So basically, all you had to do was just like jump again, and you would have realized that like there was actually no way for Lucas to deal with the can, to actually reflect it. So this would have been like a free grab into like a throw into the can, or just a really easy bait on him. Again, like you're not trying to approach at all when you have like clay pigeon guaranteed to hit him. Yeah, that was just kind of a bad reaction from you. You should always just kind of be aware that about their air dodging as they're coming to land, like directional air dodges or neutral air dodging. That's just something that you should kind of always look out for when they're kind of getting to where this light is. Somewhere around here is generally when you're first going to start see air dodging, just because you have to air dodge in that area to avoid short hop attacks. So look out for that. Again, clay pigeon's just coming back to bite you. That's the other thing too. It's like you don't really air dodge back to the ground at all. Like you just kind of try to fight your way down, and you normally try to fight your way down with clay pigeon. That's not good. Like even there, you didn't air dodge to try and avoid the PK freeze, but you just got lucky there. Yeah, don't worry, it's gonna brand back up. And that's the other thing too. It's like you don't really ever try to push stage advantage at all. Like you just kind of wait back even after it's like kind of guaranteed your Gummon's gonna hit. That was a pretty good mix-up right there. Also, like that double jump that you did right there, while it may look kind of insignificant, is if he played his cards a little bit better there, that actually could have been a big drop from you. Because, like, all you had to do was just, like, short hop up air, fade back, and then, like, throw can out, and then you would have had a setup ready by the time that he did this. And then if he decided to, like, drift in more and land with an aerial, then you might have been able to actually punish him as well. So, like, just doing this just gave him way more free time to get back in, and you to not have a setup. So it's, like, small thing, but it honestly adds up to quite a bit. And, like, I'm glad you at least prepared for a roll there. Also, you have to be really careful about your spacing there. Like, right where you were doing this. Like, you're just, like, begging to get, like, destroyed by a PK fire as long as you spaced it correctly. But luckily, you got that can out in front. Yeah, I was so sad about that. Like, you had the right read and everything right there. Clay vision there is always a misinput. Yeah, no, I mean, definitely the air dodge, the lack of air dodge is just like a really big thing. It's just like, it just doesn't seem to be a habit you have ingrained in your system. I can't imagine if you were a melee player, but yeah, if you came from melee, you normally don't air dodge back down. Or Project Down, that game too. I was so mad when you did that. So that was a huge drop, actually. It's like one of those things that it's like, until you like recognize like what you did there, you won't know how bad of a decision this was. So you don't want to go all the way back here and like toss a clay pigeon. First of all, he's at 150%. Even if you hit him with a clay pigeon, it's going to lead to nothing unless you do a mix up. There's no true confirm from clay pigeon at 150% against Lucas that's going to convert into anything. Never alone. I don't even think it works on like heavies at this percentage. Unless like maybe it's like the fattest one with like DIN. The other thing, too, is that instead of, like, being here at center where you can realistically respond to him coming in with an attack, you're just out of range for everything, and then you decide to ground yourself for, like, 60 frames because of this. Like, he was able to get on the ground and react with a frame 11 option to counter your clay pigeon. But instead, it's like you could have had him just kind of on the run there because he burned both of his jumps. Doesn't really have much to land with, and that would have just kind of been a free opening. Also, yeah, whenever you're in a scramble situation, just like throw out up air because like that hitbox is so large that you just might catch him and kill him. The old duck on tech. Yeah, again, it's just like, honestly, it's just like you. Well, you can shield over can and everything. It's just best to leave can there and just be ready and just like wait. And then when you see the roll, you just do your down angle to have tilt. It's so much like when he's at 157, there's kind of no reason to go for the up smash option at that point, especially if you have him at the ledge. Like you only go for up smash really if you need to get the kill earlier. Yeah, so I imagine there wasn't a third game to this because, like, I just noticed it kind of went 1-1.
3, 2, 1, go!
Not a bad move right there. This is the one thing I will say about going for that option, particularly right here. So if you're going for the clay pigeon up tilt up air combo, that's great center stage just because you can't really do, that's kind of the best damage you can get. However, when you get your opponent right here to ledge, your best option is always going to be to throw them off stage, just because you'll be able to do way more damage off of ledge trapping them than you are going to be doing just like off of juggle and just sort of resetting the neutral and everything. Just off stage gives you way more time to set up, and if their ledge options aren't great, like Lucas's aren't great, you'll be able to just do a lot more off of that. Because something to keep in mind is this. Lucas's aerials are safe when he's landing with them, but not when he's rising with them. They're very different in that respect. Because, like, landing with, like, you know, the maximum, like, with the, like, basically frame perfect, like, he lands with the attack and everything, like, it's kind of ridiculous how safe some of these moves are. But if he's rising with them, like, this move comes out frame 9, it ends frame 12, so, you know, best case scenario, he hits you frame 12. And then after that move connects, there is 29 frames of lag afterwards. Or, yeah, 29 frames of lag. So, you know, you'll probably be in like shield lag for like an extra 5 frames. So you'll probably have like close to 20 frames to punish him. And that's more than enough time to get an aerial out to just like jump out of shield and punish him. And from ledge, he's most likely going to be using something like that. He might use down air, maybe back air. But like all of these moves, you'll be able to punish really, really, really easily. And the other thing too is because he's so floaty, you know he's not really going to move too much either. It's not like a fast faller where it's like attack and then fast fall down. Even if you fast fall down, like you'd probably be able to grab that. But that's something to keep in mind when you have him at ledge. See, like overall, this position makes sense in neutral. Nobody's gained a clear advantage. You're ready to take center if he decides to retreat more, and you're trying to get him to approach you. That's good. That's kind of what you want to be doing in the neutral. You're not overcommitting at all. You're pretty safely playing around his PK fire, and he's kind of in a situation where he needs to approach. Finally giving that to you. Again, you don't air dodge. So there wasn't much that you're going to be able to do around that. See, there it makes sense to go for up smash because that's the only option that's going to kill. That's when you go for that option. When you get them to like 150 and all that stuff, then you set up for the safer stuff. Hey, what's up, donuts? We got a pretty short one today. It's just we're gonna finish up this one and then just got one more. We got 2 more sets after this. Actually, we have 3 because we have 1 more for Tom. Wait. What was the setup for that? Hold up. So, okay, can. Oh, shoot. Oh, he got a really. Huh. I gotta show Husky this actually. Let me ping him real quick. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. I think the reason why this happened was because Lucas's projectile hit this. The gunman was able to set off the knockback storage from that. And let's see, did it? Crap, I can't go frame by frame. So. Yeah, okay. So when the gunman did that, it actually did blow up on Lucas's shield. So he got really lucky. He was just ready for it. Yeah. Yeah, no, that one was actually really wacky. Let me just also check real quickly how it I think it goes back here. Because I just want to see exactly how PK Fire hit it. Yeah, so it got like the right tangent properties there. The one time you air dodge was like in the worst possible way to air dodge. Oh, I feel bad. Yeah, always be sure you're ready to DI that. And the other thing too is when you're in a situation like there, this. Air dodging is actually like the riskiest option to do because it's very easy for anybody to just like go down, grab, back throw. And like Lucas's back throw shouldn't kill you at this percentage. Or like dash back F smash. Like his F smash or F smash should be quick enough. I don't think up smash is, down smash is quick enough. So generally speaking, like if you're here, you should probably air dodge to the ledge, like to grab it. That's probably your safest option. That, oh my, I think Lucas did it again. Hold up. Let me see that. Yeah, so if it didn't land on the gunman there, I think you could have actually done another knockback storage thing with the CAD. But it would have gone to the right, so you wouldn't have been able to use it. God, that looks really easy to get. There you go. Now you got the clay pigeon combo. Yeah, a lot of the times, like, I feel like most of the clay pigeons that you're landing with are on purpose, though. Like, these don't really look like misinputs to me. Oh man, I wish you were ready for it. Like if you jump back aired, even if you traded with Dare 1, like that first hit of Dare just doesn't spike you. So that actually would have been a really good trade. You weren't ready for it. No. Landing clay pigeon. Landing clay pigeon. You don't really throw them out in the air. It's just like, that's like your default option for landing is going for clay pigeon. And that should never be your default option for landing. There you go. Again, your can had it covered. There's no reason to put yourself in danger there. Because the can was actually going to land like right there on the platform. So when your can's got it covered, don't put yourself there. Unnecessary damage. Oh god! You ran right into the PK freeze. Yeah, like the second that you hear PK freeze, like that was definitely a miss input from him. You just got to go ahead and punish it. But yeah, no, just don't run into the PK freeze. Don't do that. Yeah, if he had more percentage, that would have been really cool. But yeah, again, it's just like you're spamming this way too much. Luckily, he keeps running into them, so it's like he hasn't. If he told himself that you're going to clay pigeon like at like 70% of the time, he wouldn't have to put too much thought into the rest of the game. But because he's not really doing that, you're just kind of allowed to get away with it. But like a better player is going to punish you like crazy for doing that many clay pigeons. Again, clay pigeon. And like even like I hope this one was this one looks more of like a misinput because like In this case, Clay Pigeon here makes absolutely zero sense. Like, Lucas is way too floaty to ever fall down into speed fast enough to land on the air. So I'm assuming that one was I'm assuming that one was a misinput. But if it just in case it wasn't, yeah, just really think about why you're pressing all these buttons. And the other thing too, something that this Lucas player is not doing, but a better Lucas player will do, is when you're throwing out all of these gunmen, you're not doing the wave bounce gunmen. And the issue with that is he can't auto punish with PK fire. Let's see. Yeah, startup's frame 21, so that should be just quick enough to react to gunmen online. Because he should be able to punish like the final 8 frames of that move without much of a problem. So you really need to be careful about that. Again, don't go to where your can is. Like, you were up airing the same exact place the can landed on. Can covers one area, so can covers platform, anything this way. You cover this zone that he could air dodge to. If he goes underneath the platform, then you just like run up, grab him, run up. At this pace, at this point, you could just also run up smash. Of the Clay Pigeon combos? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, you're talking about the wave bounce gunman. Yeah. Honestly, just go into training mode and practice. I'll show you exactly how I like to practice it personally. This is what I did back in Smash 4. The input hasn't changed. I'm going to be a little bit rusty at them because I haven't done them in a while. Let me move Lucas too. There's that controller. So ideally, you do battlefield, small battlefield, both are fine. And then what you do is like you run off, and then you just practice doing it like that. And that's kind of like one of the easiest ways to get the input down. And also you can kind of see how useful it is. Because like by doing this, we can do it even easier this way. So like by doing that, like you have a really, really nice just like buffer window of protection against like projectiles like PK fire. And then let's say you're fighting like a character like Samus, then it's just gonna like end up being in a spot where it's gonna be able to cover you really well. Orange Gunman's kind of the worst for this one just because he stays so high up. But if we do yeah, if we do this gunman or something like that, he's going to fall like basically all the way to the ground and then fire there. So really, really nice option. And for just some reason, it's just like I always felt like this was the easiest way to practice. So it's like you run off and then you hit this down corner right here. So if you have a Genki controller, down. So once you see that he turns around like that, you're good. And then you just roll it all the way back up. And then that's how you get it. So obviously it's going to take time. It's a really, really fast input to do. But as long as you've got grooves for the most part, like GameCube controller, because you have those grooves, it's not too hard to get. But if you're playing on Pro, then it might be a little bit tougher. But I think you can work in muscle memory to make it work pretty decently. The circles on those are pretty good. So, like, if you know fighting game inputs, it'd be 1B, and then you go all the way to 6. Then you just go to 6. So you do down, back, B, and then forward in the other direction. So, again, here you hit diagonal and B, and that sends Gunman in that direction. And then you just roll it forward. And I think you have like a 3-frame window to get it. Something like that. You hit B backwards. So you need to do this. So, okay, so to practice it, first do this. Run off the platform and send Gunman in the opposite direction. That's the first input you need to get down. Then what you do is you have to roll it forward. So, crap. There we go. Like, it's a quick input, but You can get it. And then there I did it. I did like the reverse direction. But yeah, that's kind of what you do. So the second that you summon the gunman, then you do the direct, you hit the control stick in the opposite direction. I forget how many frames you have to do it. Like, it's obviously not a 1-frame input. Like, I think you have a 3-frame window to input the opposite direction. And I don't think the rules for it have changed from Smash 4. So you can look at my Smash Corners video and he talks all about it. Even the control schemes haven't changed from Smash 4 as well. So if you watch any B reversing or wave bouncing video from that era, all the information from that will transfer over to Ultimate as well. Yeah, so when you do it, be opposite direction and then roll your control stick forward, and then that's how you do the wave bounce. That's how it works. So you can also do it with can too. You can still do C-stick wave bouncing. Let me try. I've never done it that way before. Oh yeah, you can do that. Yeah, actually, if you want the easiest version, so here. So I'm gonna do B this way, and then hit C-stick in the opposite direction. Would you look at that? You made that so much easier. And like my C-stick is set to tilt, so. And like you're losing no distance on that too. You can also do it with can too, and that's like a really nice option to have. Let me see. Oh god, that's. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit harder. Yeah, I think I'm only ever gonna do wave bounce can, the tried and true method that I know. Throwing the C-stick in there makes it so much harder. But yeah, you can also do this with can, and that's pretty useful. So that way it's like you can create a really nice auto spacing for yourself. And then like, let's say I do that to Lucas just like right off the bat. Now I have a pretty nice window to just automatically sandwich in between him and the can. And not to mention just kind of mix up where I'm going to go to. So that's a nice thing I can do. Not as... Honestly, to me, it doesn't really feel like the inputs are different. Like, my muscle memory from that game still sort of works here. It's just a matter of getting to the rhythm and practicing it again. There might be something weird with the buffer system, but that shouldn't really affect... That really should affect specials. That should only affect, like, normals, from what I know. I could be wrong. But, yeah, you just have to see. Like, honestly, if you just practice it enough, like, working out, like, practicing running or something like that, you'll be able to get it down. Like, very, very easily. But yeah, I would say for the gunman, it's worth practicing the wave bounce with the C-stick, but I wouldn't do that for can. And honestly, that's not really an option to use with Clay Pigeon because it makes it harder to get the punish on them. So actually, no, I'm lying about that. Let me see. Actually, no, that could be kind of saucy. It's just getting... If you're fighting, like, a heavy, then I could see uses for it. But if you aren't fighting a heavy... Because, like, otherwise, it's just, like, you're never going to hit somebody. Yeah, well, that's going to be kind of hard. Actually, okay, that's the best way to use it. Just to B-reverse it, that's when you'd use the C-stick. Like, here, this would be a pretty good way to use it. So, nope, not like that. Oh, we're getting so sidetracked in this. There we go. That would be a nice way to do it. That's the only time. B-reversing is the only way you should really use the Clay Pigeon. You shouldn't use wave bouncing with it. Okay. So for everybody watching at home, sorry for that huge tangent. But let's get back to Lucas getting about to be obliterated. There we go. He's dead. Yeah. So unfortunately, we don't have another game in this whole thing. So we're not going to really be able to talk about that. But yeah, those are kind of the applications for B reversing and whatnot. So good thing to keep in mind at the very least. But overall, you don't really know how to play this matchup well, and that Lucas doesn't know how to play that matchup at all. You just kind of threw out way too many clay pigeons is the biggest thing. You need to make sure you're covering separate areas from the can. The can's supposed to be by itself and cover that self naturally. You only follow the can if you're going specifically for a shield setup where you let the can hit the shield and you get the grab off of that. That's kind of the only time that you do it. Outside of that, can's on its own, you're something else. Can is the other entity that's attacking where you're not. So always think of it like that. Let's see. Yeah, too many clay pigeons. Clay pigeon games have to be worked better. And then, let's see. Yeah, you also need to place you do need to place all of your gunmen safer in that matchup, but he wasn't really using PK Fire well enough to really force you to do that. Also, just kind of the way that you're trapping him in the air, you're giving up way too much stage control, so make sure you're holding center a lot better, and then making sure you're covering his landings properly, and you're not trying to cover all of them with clay pigeon. Don't always land with clay pigeon. Please don't do that. And then also just because he was you were kind of baiting out the reflector so much, generally is because you did clay pigeon, but you can easily make the reflector come out with the F smash by using can or gunman instead and jumping over and punishing him, and I didn't see you do that at all. So always keep that mind game in there. Those are the games you probably should have sent me. The ones where you're really getting rocked. Because the ones where you're getting rocked more are the ones where I can tell you more of what your issues are. Because those will always provide a lot more insight to things that you need to work on. Okay. And here is the Diddy game. So real quick, this matchup, if you guys did see my matchup chart videos, or if you just saw the matchup chart, you know that I put this as a winning matchup. Diddy Kong was actually a character that Duck Hunt always did really, really well against. In Smash 4, it was a slight Duck Hunt favor. The one thing that Diddy Kong had over Duck Hunt is it was a little bit easier for him to get the kill. That's kind of obvious. But basically, we did not allow him to use Banana at all. So pretty much the main way he was getting kills was off of down tilt or just good ledge trapping. And if he wasn't doing that, he was basically losing neutral. And we were, on average, doing a lot more damage than he was. So that was kind of the main. It was slight winning, a 55-45 matchup or even. That's what it was. The main thing is that you never really got to see that as much because most Duck Hunts that you saw in Smash 4 were not good. I'll actually, this is one thing I definitely have to give a lot of credit to a lot of the Duck Hunt players now. A lot of the Duck Hunt players now are much better players than they were back in Smash 4. Though I think some of them are new here. Nintendo came in at the very end of Smash 4's life cycle. Wisdom got significantly better than he was in Smash 4. He put in the work. Ozone, he got better. He just kind of kept building more off of his Smash 4 thing, so kind of to be expected. So there was legacy involved in that. Zane, or previously Apollo, Zane, I think Zane is an ultimate Duck Hunt. I think he's the only high-level, purely ultimate Duck Hunt that we have in America. Yeah, I think that's right. Because Nintendo, he technically started in Smash 4, but he wasn't too big there. We also had Tree. So it's all of them at least had some experience back in Smash 4. I want to say Zane is the only one that didn't have Smash 4 experience with Duck Hunt, but I'll have to talk to him because I'm honestly not sure about that. But he's definitely shown the most progress so far. And I honestly, I think he's done most of the work on his own too. So that's even more impressive. He's doing just a lot of things that took a lot of people a while to find out. But if he was watching a lot of Rido videos and some of the things that I made, it kind of makes sense then. So the main reason why in this game it is so much better, it's kind of not in Diddy's favor, in any way really possible, is that pretty much everything about him got nerfed and he gained nothing to really compensate for it. And that's kind of it. Like, it's a lot harder for to kill. Like, he's still able to kill off a down tilt. Like, I think it's like down tilt forward air. Like, that's not too great. Banana confirm still exists, but banana was the one thing that we always like mitigated from ever being useful in the matchup, unless you were careless. And then forward air is so much easier to beat. Move's still good, but like you can actually trade with this move now. It wasn't that, oh, his feet just beat everything that you have and you just kind of have to deal with it. You can actually hit these now, which that's such a good thing. And, you know, pretty easy to anti-air him. We don't really have to worry too much about that. And his moves just don't kill early. The only one that kills early is down air. And then oh yeah, that's the other thing too, is recovery got nerfed like crazy. So like if you're able to do like good like low angled things or just like hit him low enough, he can't recover either. So it's like because of all those things, like it's definitely in Duck Hunt's favor. Now Diddy Kong can definitely do it. It's not impossible for him. He's still like pretty mobile. Kind of the issue that he runs into, he's unless he's like using like monkey flip pop gun cancel things, he's pretty slow in the air. So it's pretty easy to just kind of know where he's going to be at all times. And if they're very predictable with monkey flip kicking, it's very easy to call out. And I know you do that a couple of times in here. So go ahead and look at this. And I know some people are like actually kind of confused how to play this matchup. So I'm honestly happy that you have this. So pretty much you should always have gunman out to cover banana. Clay pigeon you only use in very specific scenarios. Again, please stop using clay pigeon. And I'm just gonna keep calling out every single time that I see it happen, just so you just like understand how that's a free punish. At least you got something. Again, please stop using clay pigeon. That was a good mix-up. How far away were you there? Let me see. Hold up. Let's see. I'm trying to look specifically at this. Wow, yeah, like you actually pinged the cannon all the way down there, so you just have to be ready. Yeah, also, he did land right there, so you could have pinged it. Also, please stop using clay pigeon. Oh, that was actually a little bit unlucky. If you got sent behind you, you could have gotten a pretty good combo off of it. That clay pigeon was actually okay. That one wasn't. That one's at least an okay one. So that was a good setup there. You use the short hop variation of up air, so cover the platform, and you just like to use the auto cancel to immediately get that grab. So good stuff there. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, the way that you beat Clay Pigeon in this game, like, it still loses to the fundamental idea of jumping. It's just that you can no longer attack through it. And as long as your opponent understands that you're going to keep doing that move, they can literally, like, just jump over and charge a smash attack and punish you. You sort of had the right idea to call out the monkey flip, but it's just you didn't really execute it properly. Unless you're trying to call out roll. Yeah, monkey flip from ledge is very, very popular from Diddy Kongs. Please stop using clay pigeon. Yeah, I honestly thought that back throw would have connected to the can too. So one thing that I'm noticing is like, okay, at least this Diddy Kong's not really using banana too much, but you're not really like playing as a way for him to come towards you. Yes. No, yeah. As long as you're ready for that thing, like, oh man, you're going to eat them up for days. Please stop using clay pigeon. See, that's where Gunman comes into use, because Gunman would block that, and the Gunman would not go down, and you would actually have Gunman pressure coming from that as well. Versus, you went for Clay Pigeon, and now you're both getting hit. You're actually kind of lucky that he wasn't kind of ready for that, because if he spammed up air, he would have been able to hit you with it. Fair meant well, but unfortunately just a little bit misspaced. Again, you're not playing around like he has banana. Like, what you always want to do is you always want to be behind a gunman so you're ready for banana to come be thrown at you, and that's going to stop like basically his entire neutral game. And that's the other thing too. If he goes for monkey flip and he does a kick, it gives you even more time to prepare shield punish. That was so dangerous. You're lucky he didn't get you. Got a little greedy there. Again, right here, the only thing you need to do is just put a gunman right here, and Diddy Kong can literally do nothing. Like, as long as he's got that banana in the hand, he literally can only monkey flip at you. That's literally the only option that he can do to possibly damage you. If he does the monkey flip grab, Can's going to protect you. Even if he does the monkey flip kick, because the gunman's right there, that's probably going to set it off anyways. So it's like even a shield can against that. Please stop using gun. Please stop using Clay Pigeon. Like, gunman really very much doesn't invalidate Diddy Kong's neutral. Again, you try to land on top of him. Not something you really want to do. He's really, really good at juggling. He's got a lot of really good anti-airs. Like, his up smash is actually kind of ridiculously good at anti-airing. If you've never seen what this looks like... Oh. Poker R! Thanks for the follow. I think that's right. Yeah. Actually, I think it's Poker Overwatch, but maybe it's Poker Owl. We'll figure it out later. Up smash. That's what I want to show you. Not that. There we go. Look how ridiculously big this hitbox is. So, very disjointed. Very disjointed. Super disjointed. And he has a huge hop too. So he's really good at anti-airing. Not to mention, like, up tilt's got a pretty nice hitbox from what I remember. Oh wait, no, this hitbox actually is kind of bad. This is cheeks. You get his hand doesn't even cover it. You can trade with that. Not great, but it's all right. And then I think his up air is actually pretty good. Yeah, this move is disjointed. That's a really big hitbox. So anti-airs, good on Diddy Kong. So you don't really want to approach him from the air. Again, please stop using Clay Pigeon. You can literally just like auto press like gunman there and it will stop the banana from working. You also chose the correct side. If you landed in front of him, I think that up smash would have connected. Please stop using Clay Pigeon. That wasn't a bad one, but just, no, you have better options available to you. Oh, God. Yeah. You also tend to like air dodge in almost like every single time. Like wherever the opponent is, that's where you tend to air dodge. Wait, what? Hold up. I have never seen the banana do that to Cad. I'll have to look at that. That was weird. Like no sound or anything. The Cad just the Cad just kind of is tripping. We out. It's so nonchalant about it too, because like there's just no sound with it. It just Just like a little wave there. Again, please stop using clay pigeon. So that was a very bad move. Like, at least technically you're covering here, but this is the thing. When you use clay pigeon, can is not, you're not able to use your can at all. So because of that, like, even if he was approaching you from the jumping angle, can would not follow him until he was already at you. So that's very bad. If you did gunman there instead, then you'd still be able to control the can, and you would have like potential pressure here, so that way he couldn't land. So that way that would force him to jump, that would force him to go into the trajectory of the can, and then you could ping it after him. And by the time that can's able to like hit him or like go into the area where he would air dodge, you'd be able to act as duck hunt to punish whatever option he went to, whether he hit the can, he dodged the can, or got hit by the can. So really, really think about how much control that clay pigeon takes away from can. And at the same time, please stop using clay pigeon. Okay, like that. Okay, that was the one time that clay pigeon was not a bad idea. Not the one time, but one of the few times. Also, like with a situation like that, just make sure you're watching your opponent. Let's kind of look at that again. So here, you know, initially not a bad idea. This peanut is about to hit that can. You don't go anywhere near that can, because the second you do, that's going to blow up on you. So you got to avoid that. And then, yeah, you just went right into it. So just make sure you recognize what's going on. I don't know. The closer look that you take a look at these sets, like the weirder that some things are. That was really good. I'm not sure if you realized that was going to happen, but nonetheless, that was smooth. That was a really, really smooth thing. Let's just appreciate that one combo again. I really liked how that looked. Not that one, because that wasn't a combo. Right here. It was like right after this. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, that's classic duck hunt stuff right there. And back air. Perfect. That was a good sequence. So yes, clay pigeon can look cool, but please, for the love of God, stop using it. Okay, game 2. Yeah, so like, so far your biggest issue with that first game is like you do not play around banana at all with gunmen, and you really need to be doing that. Good punish. Yeah, so like always remember, like gunman does come out frame 5. So in this case, because you're shielding over can, you would have to be a little bit more careful. And what you'd want to do is, this is where wave bounce gunman comes in, because you dash wave bounce gunman, so the gunman drops here in front of the can, and then that way you would stop all the peanuts and the bananas coming at you. Please stop using clay pigeon. Wait, let's see. How much percentage did you take for going for clay pigeon? You took 27. All because you decided to do one clay pigeon. And honestly, you could have gotten a lot more. See, that actually worked out because there was a trade involved, but you still got to be way more careful than that. See, that's what gunman does. Gunman actively stops banana from happening, and keep in mind that these feet are still a hurt box too. So depending on where he is, this can still block banana. So like it even got buffed more from Smash 4 because of that. Yeah, also, I don't really see you use shield can too much in this matchup, and in this matchup, shield can's really good. Really good setup there. That was nice. Just like kind of a little bit, like if you just changed your timing a little bit on the pings, then you would have gotten the side that would have killed him. Again, when you're setting up gunmen specifically to fight banana, you don't do this, you do full hop can. You do full hop can here. Because most likely the banana, he's trying to just target you down here, and then the gunman's going to block it. Okay. Also, you just use can 3 times in a row when you could just sort of land it with an aerial. Yeah, also just like don't be afraid to air dodge down to the ledge. Like it'll help you quite a bit in like landing safely. Please stop using clay pigeon. Oh, that's a free grab. If he ever monkey flips like right in front of you, you can grab that. And remember, like if you are below this platform and you decide to put a gunman here, there is no physical way banana can ever harm you. And that's what you want to that's what you always want to strive for in this matchup. Where can you place your gunman and like yourself? Because like if you go on platform stages, gunman here below the platform, there's no way banana's ever going to touch you, and that's what you pretty much always strive to do in this matchup. Please stop using gun clay pigeon. More gunman, please. Also, that the can pull worked out, but it was really nonsensical on every level because I don't think you're really expecting him to go into you. But like getting rid of the entire safety of your gunman and going like in front of it kind of defeats the entire purpose of using them. The only time you should ever be like jumping in front of them is if the gunman already got a confirmed hit or you know it's about to hit them because like they did a move and they can't throw up their shield in time. Also, you had a pretty good like roll trap right there, but you weren't just conscious of it. I at least know that you know how to think about those at the very least. Like there, like just being right here. Even if he had banana, if he threw banana, it would hit this gunman because he's in the special down position. So all you do is just you sit here, you wait for the roll, and then you punish. And then if he rolls away, then you set up another can so you get more neutral control. Going for the classic White Husky right there. See, like this is kind of the setup that you want to do. So after this, throwing up a gunman, not gonna be a bad idea. There we go. See, like he has to do something like ridiculous like this, which you can just shield and punish. And that's the only way he's getting through. Not to mention, you can definitely react to it from doing it this far. Okay, you need to understand that like White Husky has completely forgone all shame in the process of just pursuing clay pigeon. You don't play like White Husky. Only White Husky can play like White Husky, and it doesn't really work. He just knows when it works. That's the only reason why it works for him. And he knows everything to do off of it. Like, you have to understand that White Husky has been spamming side B for like 8 years straight. Yeah, it's like 6 or 7 years straight now. White Husky has just been doing nothing but pressing side B. And because he's been doing it for that long, he understands. He understands when it works and when it doesn't. It'll look like spam, and it probably is. But he understands when it's safe, and he understands when and when not to do it. Actually, no, that's a lie. But he understands better. And that's the reason why you always want to block banana, so he can't do things like that to you. But you see, it's like when you aren't protecting yourself from banana, this is what he's able to do. Yeah, I guess that's what happens whenever it lands on banana, because I think you just summoned it there. Let's look. Oops. Go back a little bit more. Like, honestly, like, at this point, like, it's all, like, sort of, like, 50-50s. You just have to kind of guess which defensive option you do is going to, like, keep you safe in those situations. Yeah. Okay, I guess whenever it lands on banana peel, that's how it acts. Exactly. So, yeah, no, don't go spamming clay pigeon. Don't go down that road. It's not going to lead anywhere. There we go. See, that's neutral. And, like, okay, so there, it kind of makes sense to throw clay pigeon. He's already committed to throwing the banana at you, so he's most likely going to dash to you, because that's the only real way that he's going to get a pretty good conversion, unless he decides to go for, like, the nair dive. But I don't even think he's close enough to get the nair dive there in that situation. So that makes sense to do it. Not only that, but even if the banana does hit you, the clay pigeon's still going to go through, so you're going to get that punish there. Yeah, see, like, now you're swinging super wild now. Like, you have, like, forgone, like, any sense of safety, and you're just trying to kill him with everything. That's not really a good game plan, because, like, these aren't, the reads that you're going for aren't based on any data that you've gotten from the player. These are just Hail Mary reads. Like, you put on a blindfold, and you're just, like, chucking a hammer out there in the wilderness, and it's either going to just damage something dearly, or you're going to get the kill. That's not ideally what you want to do ever. So, like, really think more about, like, what your options are and, like, what you're actually able to get off these different things. So let's look at this. Let's kind of break down that whole sequence. I think it's somewhere right here. So, okay. That right there, it was a nice low thing. You did it low enough. I think you did the fast one. Let's double check. Yeah, so you did the fast one, and the thing is, like, if he dropped shield and, like, dashed to you, he would have been able to punish you, because, like, he would have grabbed, if he did, like, a grab, or if he did, like, drop shield down smash, he would have, like, low profiled under the hitbox, and he would have been able to hit you. Down smash wouldn't have killed you, thankfully, but he still would have been able to do it. This was pretty much only going to cover jump and, like, standing in place. But overall, you cover a decent amount of options there. Now, over there, if you're expecting him to fall, I think he used both of his jumps. Let me double check. So, yeah. So he used his double jump there. So here, moving out of his threat zone and throwing a clay pigeon makes sense, because he doesn't really have another option. Even if he goes to monkey flip kick, clay pigeon's going to beat it out. The only way he's realistically getting around this is, like, if he did, like, air dodge right here. And if he did that, he would have been able to do, like, drop down, down air, back air. Wouldn't have killed, but you'd be in a situation where he could edge guard you for the stock. So there. That was not a bad clay pigeon setup. Grab, throw. Can. Now, if you do get the F smash here, you can kill him. And if you get the clay pigeon as well, like, the clay pigeon there, it actually led to the can. So instead of utilizing what you had set up, you decided to go for a full charge F smash, which there is no true combo for. And then even when you did decide to ping the can, you realize, like, hey, even if I hit this, I'm not going to be able to do anything off of it. So you could have had clay pigeon, can, double jump, up air. I don't know if it would kill him this stage, but there's a chance it might have, because I don't think you've really been hitting him with it. But he might also be heavy enough for it. So, like, that was kind of the big drop that you had there. So you had it there. Again, like, if you decided to just go for a gunman straight there, his banana couldn't do anything, even if he, like, took it out. And that makes sense to do the side switch just because Diddy Kong rolled behind you. So now that you're on the opposite side of the gunman, Banana's not going to do anything again. Okay, that was really bad. I'm assuming that one was a misinput. But yeah, what you do there is you throw up can. This is going to cover here. Monkey flip, you dash this way. And then if he does the peanut pop gun cancel, you dash back, wait for the attack, punish. And that's how it works. That's how you beat Diddy Kong in that scenario. You don't go for Clay Pigeon. Clay Pigeon just ruins it all. But again, that one I assume was a misinput. Again, you had a roll trap set up. Let's talk about the two ways that you could have played that. So there's two things. When the gunman shoots, you can ping the can so that way the can will like knock this way, and because it has a lot of gravity, it'd probably end up somewhere here. But you could ping it a little bit more so it hit the top of his shield. And then you would have also been able to get like free shield pressure and probably would have been able to shield poke with down tilt there because his foot would most likely stick out after getting hit by can. And then if you decide not to do that, you just leave that there. So then that way you're able to cover the roll. Which you might have been trying to do that, but it looked like you hit it way too early. Okay, good snipe. For the can, gotcha. Yeah, overall, like, this stage is super straightforward to play. But yeah, you still hold the same principles of, you know, stay behind the gunman and you don't have to worry about banana. And the other thing, too, is if you know how to utilize banana, you can get a lot of good things off of it. Like, you can do banana up smash, and you can do banana wait for the tech into Clay Pigeon. So that's a good item to know how to utilize. And that's kind of the main reason why it's just like Diddy Kong just doesn't really do well. Because you can use banana against him, and he can't use banana well against you at all. Ah, yeah, you had the right idea. So that's the thing you need to keep in mind is now when you're hitting his shield with Clay Pigeon, he's starting to roll. So you most likely will not have frame advantage over him, but you might be able to read his next option to either avoid it or counter it. And see, there, good reads on that. That one ended up working out really well for you. Yeah, that's a very common thing that Diddy Kongs like to do, which you probably know in other matchups, was monkey flip kick, ledge cancel, jump back air. So like when he does the monkey flip there, just like jump and instinctually nair or just like throw out a back air, and then you'll probably catch him. Yeah, so far you're not using it as much. You did one in the very beginning where it caught his jump. But look at the difference it makes when you stop using Clay Pigeon. Yeah, that was just a bad read by you. That was a really bad reaction. Because even back throw wouldn't have killed you there, so there was no reason to really worry about that. Actually, you didn't even spot dodge. And then, yeah, really nice shield poke over there. That's always something you have to remember is like when you pressure their shields enough, you are able to go for plays like that where you can just damage them out when they're going for shield. And then you go for Clay Pigeon. Yeah, like that was like a pretty easy one to just like go in a little bit and then like call out with an F smash. It's just you need a little bit better positioning. You at least had the right idea, though. I think it's just probably mostly due to online. Your reaction was a little bit too late there. And a little bit late on your reaction with the can, too. Because, like, you were holding bananas, so you've been more than able to. And see, that's a huge issue there. Like, you're not going to the ledge for safety. You're just going in, and that makes, like, honest to God, he could have just waited and then just charged an up smash to kill you. So that was just a kind of a misplay on his part. And don't go for down air. Down air puts you into special tumble. You would have never been able to shield that can. If you did up it, if you did nair, you probably would have been able to. Yeah, just a misinput error from you. You were a little bit, your execution on that was a bit slow. Also, you want to avoid hitting your can, so that way you land near your can. So you always got to make sure that you're not doing that when you do your up B, because that like reduces the entire safety. And look, you keep trying to go and land back on stage where Diddy Kong has full control to just hit you. So don't do that. He's being really nice to you to the fact that he's not actually just like using banana to smash attack to just like finish you off. Hitting Gunman stales moves. So like that's a really good way to stale Thunderjolt in the Pikachu matchup. So you set up Gunman, and after it gets hit by 2 Thunderjolts, that's how you know you have free reign to throw Clay Pigeon right through it. And also, once that like the double stale happens on T-Jolt, it will no longer knock down Gunman. So most of the time, if they do approaching T-Jolt, Gunman will auto-punish Pikachu and Pichu as well. I mean, you went for the down air. You're just supposed to go for nair. So you have to remember, if you hit Diddy Kong with a really soft move, it'll just like gimp him. You do have the issue of the jetpack possibly killing you, but overall, it's not as much of a worry. Yeah, again, you're just not like you're not being too like. He's giving you like a lot of very easy like reaction punishes to get. So we're at 15. Let's go back. Yeah, a bit earlier. So like something that happened. No, it was before this. So it's like, he's doing the air dodge in there. See, like, what you want to do there is, because the can falls faster than you, wait for the can to fall below you, and then you do nair, and then you just, like, let can fall first, and then you fall next to it. Again, please stop using Clay Vision like that. Yeah, with the issue with you going for nair there is you did actually have to land on stage there. So, like, if you went for up air and fast fall, then you actually would have been able to land with, like, no lag. And then whenever they want to do up beat back, hit like drop, like not down, just hit to the side and then hit nair. So then that way you're able to intercept Diddy Kong's recovery like that. Okay, I guess it was a little bit before this. Okay, yeah, I think it was this scene right here. So you do this, and then all you had to do was like let go, turn around, and up smash or down smash. I probably would have done down smash since you would have had. Actually, no, he landed right there, so down smash would have worked fine. I mean, up smash would have worked fine. But yeah, like if you did turn around, down smash, then you would have just like knocked him off stage and caught him. And then if he did drift behind you, down smash still would have caught him. The thing is that like if you're recovering high, just like air dodge to the ledge. Because like going to the ledge is going to save you way more than it's going to kill. It's just that this player is not smart enough to kill you when you land on stage. Like he's not planning to kill you. He's just planning to go for his bread and butter combo to do more damage to you. But he has the full capability to do so much worse to you than what he's actually doing to you. That's kind of the issue. When you run into a player that like basically knows how to slay like all elite smash like players out there, because air dodging inside on the stage is basically just like the low-level player slayer. As long as they know how to optimize or punish on that, they'll basically kill you every single time. So you only use those onstage things as a mix-up. So if you recover high, that's the reason why you need to have Can fall first and you fall around it instead of knocking Can away from you, so you're just completely vulnerable. So you need to just like kind of work on that whole recovery scheme. And then, yeah, it just calls you out for that. Yeah, but yeah, you kind of like drift in a lot whenever you do aerials on somebody, so you need to make sure you drift back and you're safe with it. But yeah, no, overall, it's like this one, for the most part, you're playing neutral a lot better on like your first two, like on that first stock in particular. But it was just like a lot more mistakes were made like once he was hitting you that kind of led to a lot of your downfall there. And not to mention is like, because you don't have those platforms there, it wasn't really mitigating banana as much. And I don't feel like you're really playing around that as much too. Just like overall, a lot of like really bad reactions to what he was doing as well. Like it doesn't really feel like you were watching him as much. And I think if you were doing that, like I think stock one, you're doing a pretty good job of that. But like after that, it just sort of fell apart. Also, your recoveries. He actually took the most, you did the most damage to you just because of the way you're recovering, going high and just doing like these really easy things to respond and punish too. That was kind of the issue. Yeah, that's good. That's what you definitely want to strive to do. Just like play safe, don't throw out those clay pigeons and everything. And that's exactly what you want to do. And that's why you're able to control and move around so much better than when you're tossing out those clay pigeons nonstop. It's just that a disadvantage. He did so much damage to you. Instead of you going to like mixing up the way that you get to the ledge, you basically just kept getting hit. And like another thing too is you don't air dodge to ledge out of up B. And I think that's another big issue that you have, is that you're always waiting for up B to snap to the ledge, where if you did that air dodge, you would very much avoid the attack because he's not going for a long sustaining thing to punish you and get a 2-frame. He's just like throwing an attack out before you hit the ledge versus throwing an attack out that needs to hit the 2-frame. That's the difference between the two. The other one is a very tight window to get, and he needs a long-lasting hitbox to do it. The other one is like, as long as he throws out a hitbox before you get there, he's going to catch you. So that's kind of the main thing that you need to avoid there. And if you make that one change, that would honestly probably greatly turn around the way this game would have played out, just because your recovery was that bad. Like if you look at that like last stock, like you basically did not touch the stage for like 80% of that stock because of the way that you decide to land on stage. So you need to work on that. Are there any other questions that you had, Tom, before I wrap this one up? I think this is honestly going to be one of the longest videos because I realized this session went on for... Yeah, that's a good thing first. All right, cool. Good stuff. Yeah, unfortunately, if you're not fighting the people that are going to make you stop this spamming, it's really hard to stop the habit.